Big Five is on ESPN. Today, it's West Philadelphia against North Philadelphia as the Penn Quakers wrap up a 4-game road trip against the Temple Owls, who are back on their home floor for the first time in 18 days. Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Alongside former Drexel Dragon Nikki Jones, I'm John Moses. Nikki, what are some of the factors you'll be tracking to determine the outcome today?
Well, I think the biggest focus and factor is defense, but more specifically focusing on the personnel and the individual players that you're guarding.
It's been a long week for the Penn Quakers. They were at Marquette on Monday, at Villanova Tuesday, at Merrimack on Friday night. But Penn head coach Mike McLaughlin is thrilled about the progress that Jordan Obi is making in her senior campaign.
Yeah, a player that can be a threat. Anytime she catches the ball, she is at the top of the charts for her team in almost every statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals. But today is a day for her to keep that same energy, especially against a team like Temple.
And for the Owls, Aaliyah Nelson figures to have an advantage in terms of experience against a very young Penn backcourt.
Right, and we've seen so much of what Nelson can do. She can spot up, knock down the three. She can get to the rim when expected, facilitates well for her team. And what's to love most is the energy that she brings that keeps the people going.
We got to look at the tail of the tape between these two teams. For Jordan Obi, 16 points per game, part of an offense, Nikki, that has seen several players create contributions for Penn. A little bit different for them without Caleb Padilla, of course, the all-world scorer, now playing at USC.
Right, this Penn team does such a great job at executing their offense and sharing the ball. So that's, to blame for their field goal percentages overall.
Aaliyah Nelson, meanwhile, just shy of 500 career assists. In fact, she is 5 away entering play today. Owls in their home whites, Quakers in their road blues, and we are ready for hoops this afternoon in North Philadelphia. It'll be Ray Tucker and Jordan Obi jumping center. The game's opening tip controlled by the Owls. Penn has long been known for a consistent defense under Mike McLaughlin, going back to his years as the head coach at Holy Family. That's a travel on Rain Tucker, as you see the Temple starters for this one, presented by Philadelphia Federal Credit Union.
Rain Tucker has been extremely consistent for Temple this season.
First start of the year for Floor Juniors tonight. Transfer from Florida, but really gives Penn an element of size at the 5 spot. It's 6'4". She and Obi play catch, and that is Tudors missing on the baseline. Aaliyah Nelson on the run in transition, and she's got 2.
This is Temple's bread and butter. They get that rebound and push as fast as they can in transition and get the quickest points that way.
Mattea Gale commits a bit of an unforced turnover, and some good work there off the ball, and this will be something to factor in today. Penn with 2 young guards in their backcourt, Lizzie Gretsch and Mattea Gale together in the backcourt today. In the hands of Inez Piper. This is Debbie Washington taking on Almquist. Piper has the rebound. And then a fight after her miss. Possession arrow will give it to Penn.
And so far, both of these teams are still trying to find a rhythm and a flow of what they're trying to do. And it seems like they're coming out both aggressively, playing hard. And that's going to be a key for them both going forward.
Stina Almquist having a terrific junior campaign at 16 points per game. 12 to shoot for Penn. Almquist taking on Piper. And Washington clears the miss. Temple's looking to run. They want to play at this pace. And Debbie Washington misses inside. And then a foul committed by the Owls.
Well, so far it's been a great start for Temple and their focus on defense. They've been just really really stopping Penn in their rotation and how they want to play offensively.
Tay Gale initiating for Penn, first-year guard of Woodstock, Georgia. And she has been terrific. A great game against Merrimack. Willing three-point shooter. Tunders, after her own miss, East wins the battle. Numbers for the Owls. East to the pull-up. An offensive rebound, another miss by Temple. The rebound last touch by the Owls.
So far with a bunch of D's attempts at rebounding, no person is really putting the body on another player. They're all just kind of jumping and tipping the ball around. So, making that extra effort to put a body on someone will help them kind of save some energy of what they're trying to do with grabbing the rebounds.
What's so interesting is Stina Almquist measures a three. Rebounded by East. There is such a disparity in terms of the amount of games recently between these two teams. Temple was last out at Arizona State back on December 1st against Pacific, so they've had a few days to sort of gather themselves and get healthy in practice. That is Piper for a long two. Rebounded by Gale, and as we covered at the top here, Penn is playing their fourth game of the week and against some high-quality opponents. Wave off the make from Gale as she took an extra step.
Yeah, such a big difference. I mean, this Temple team, ideally, they should be well rested. I'm sure they're still going hard in practice, but, that doesn't compare to having 4 games in a week.
Free ball up for Washington, and she left it short. Obi secures a floorboard for Penn. A cold shooting start to this one. Teams are combined 1 of 11.
Well, they're getting the right shots off there. In the positions where they should be, but they just got to knock them down.
Gale has 3. No doubt a willing three-point shooter to start the year. 60 attempts already in the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah, that says a lot about a player who can get that many attempts off. She knows where to be offensively to be able to get those shots.
Tucker giving up some size against Tunders. It's cleared by Almquist. Jordan Obi. Gale for 3. Rebounded by Washington. Washington trying to use that size. She's really brought an element of size on the wing for Temple. That is Tucker for 3. Boarded by Obi. The ball movement by the Quakers. Obi on the attack, and she gave it up.
Diane Richardson was talking about that help side defense. Leah Nelson is the right place to go in transition and get another basket.
Tiara East with the finish. Owls back in front halfway through the first quarter.
Hasn't been many stoppages so far in this game, and this is really a challenge. You play for the whole first 4 or 5 minutes of a game. It can be exhausting, especially when teams are coming up empty when they're shooting offensively.
Aaliyah Nelson is like a blower in transition and lays it in with the left hand.
Leah Nelson getting hot early is exactly what Temple needs. She does so much for her team. Once she kind of gets in that zone, it's hard to stop her.
4 points and an assist already for Aaliyah Nelson to do everything point guard for Temple. Almquist taking on Piper. Nice finish from Stina Almquist.
A great job to just keep her calm and find that best shot under the basket.
Penn head coach Mike McLaughlin was talking to us about Stina Almquist over the summer, played a lot of 3-on-3 basketball on the international stage, Team Sweden, and it's really helped her confidence as Tucker misses inside for Temple.
Yeah, just playing 3-on-3, the spacing is so different than it is, but it kind of teaches you to play those gaps, to find ways to get to the basket a little bit differently than you would if it was 5-on-5.
Well, they start from Mattea Gale tonight. This afternoon, she's already got 5. Tucker as Nelson. 7 to shoot for the Owls as Nelson finds Rain Tucker inside and missed it off the window.
These players are slowing down. It's getting a little bit more exhausting. You tell Rain Tucker wasn't exactly ready, even though she was wide open underneath the basket.
And Tucker comes up with the takeaway. And she's got a solo act for 2.
Great job. This is what Temple wants. They want them to pressure the ball around the 3-point line, not allow easy passes in, and get those transition points.
Obi for 3. That's good. Jordan Obi coming off a career-high 30 points at Merrimack on Friday night. And a lot of it built from the 3-point line with 4 triples.
Yeah, she's definitely built up her confidence to be that threat behind the 3-point line.
Nice find inside Washington for Piper as we are even at 10.
The Temple's been playing super unselfish. They've been finding ways to draw the defense in and then also dish to the players down low.
Well, finally a stoppage under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And we are even at 10 in North Philly.
Live sports.
And by David Otto.
Yeah, starting with Penn, they want to rebound consistently. This has been an area of focus for them throughout the season. They want to control the boards and also offensively move the ball. We know that Penn is the type of team that wants to move, cut, and just, make it exhausting for the defense to guard them. So move a little bit faster than what the defense can react to. And on the other side for Temple, playing off of that defensive intensity, so far they've had a good start of pressuring the ball around the 3-point line and not letting easy passes in. And also on offense, this has been something they've been focused on this season about their decisive actions on offense. When you get the ball on offense, make a decision quickly. The longer you wait, the more hesitant you'll be, the more you'll make mistakes quickly after that.
Something we were talking to Temple head coach Diane Richardson about earlier today, specifically with Tiara East, about how she feels like that if she shoots the ball decisively, quickly from 3-point range, understanding that the defense is giving her space to drive, to play against that she may find more of those driving lanes if she makes a couple threes early in a game.
You're right. It just changes the game. And, obviously, Tiara East is already such a threat, especially when driving to the basket. But, there's more that she can add to her game.
Possession arrow keeps it at this end of the floor. Some fresh legs on the floor for the Owls. Jaleesa Molina and Denise Solis in the front court with Tariana Gary and Tristan Taylor. The one starter in the game now is East, as Solis against Obi inside puts it off the window.
That's such a great decisive action by Solis down low and, focusing on seeing where the defense is and then making a move quickly after that.
Gale, a couple of first-year guards locking horns here. Holmquist attacking Molina. Spin move is no good and rebounded by Molina.
Well, that's when Penn wants to get a little bit more movement on offense and not just, a few passes and then an air ball shot.
East, a couple of pump fakes inside after her own miss. Controlled by Lizzie Gretsch. Abby Sharp. And Taylor comes away with a shot. Game clock just about even here. Taylor down the lane and missed. East has an offensive rebound for Temple. Tiara East puts it back in with the left hand.
Now that's one thing that Tiara East does well, in addition to some of the other things, but grabbing and going after those offensive rebounds. She gets a lot of putbacks in that way.
Final seconds of the first quarter. Obi doesn't see the clock. Gale doesn't either, and that'll do it. Well, Temple, 6 straight points to finish off the first quarter. And the Owls, a 4-point lead after 10 minutes at the Liacouras Center. Well, these two teams separated by just a couple miles here in the city of Philadelphia. They've seen each other quite a bit. And, you know, while Temple had a pretty good run of success between 2004 and 2013, won 9 straight games in this series. You see the stat there, Nikki. Penn has won 3 of the last 4 matchups.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about the series history? I know we're just talking numbers and stats, but, you know, it doesn't really show the full story. For example, today we talked about how Penn, this is their 4th game in this past week, so, you know, that kind of changes things of what they're capable of doing.
Good hustle from behind by Lizzie Gretsch to knock that one out of bounds. Here comes Fleur Tunders back off the bench for the Quakers. And, you know, Nikki, if you were in Penn's shoes, you know, as we talked about, 4th game of the week here, would you consider going a little bit deeper into your bench for this one?
You know, I think it's helpful. It really depends on, you know, what's out there.
That's Tariana Gary for Temple, and he's such a key player for the Owls to get going. She's going to shoot one more at the line. Temple, we talked about how they've had a few days to just sort of gather themselves at practice. Last played at Arizona State the weekend after Thanksgiving. In a tournament there, offensive rebound, that is Tristan Taylor. She pays it off for Temple, but Temple head coach Diane Richardson talking about Tariana Gary, how that time at practice has been really beneficial for her to try to break out of her early season shooting slump.
Yeah, it's tough for her. I mean, she hasn't kind of picked up where she left off last season, but, you know, the effort is still there. We know she can still knock those 3-pointers down, and she is that 3-point shooter for Temple.
Temple head coach Diane Richardson, 6 wins shy of 100 in her career, now her 2nd year in North Philadelphia. Obi denied inside. That'll be a jump ball and give the possession arrow to Temple.
It was such a great start for Temple. I think they've done a really good job on offense. They've been, like we talked about, more decisive in their actions and going to the basket, whether they're assisting or driving or taking that shot. But also defense has been the focus. And, you know, they've been that presence in front of the basket to prevent Penn from doing what they want on offense.
Kendall Currents on the floor for the Owls, joined by Gary and Taylor in the backcourt. That is Molina dragging the pivot foot.
She's a player that can eventually be a really great player for Temple. I think she is now, but she's still kind of working and learning the American way of playing college basketball.
Yeah, Temple head coach Diane Richardson was telling us some about the recruiting story for Jaleesa Molina to Temple. That is Gale. Perhaps a bit too unselfish there, but saved in bounds by Simone Sawyer. 6 to shoot. That is Gale for 3. Rebounded by Sawyer. Another opportunity for the Quakers. Gale has it stripped clean by Tristan Taylor. Numbers for Temple. It's Kendall Currents to the goal. And Gale ended up saving that off a teammate. Penn head coach Mike McLaughlin, he's been at it a long time. That was his 15th year at Penn. Prior to that, the head coach at Division II Holy Family. He's over 640 career victories. Fine player in his day, too. Scored 1,700 points in his collegiate career at Holy Family.
Wow. That's impressive. It's nice to see when, coaches are able to stay kind of in the area where they're from and kind of just make and build up a program like UPenn.
Essie Obevery is on for the first time for Penn. Obevery draws a whistle. We talk about the youth in the backcourt for Penn, and Mike McLaughlin is so excited. You could just hear how excited he was when we were talking to him over the phone yesterday afternoon. And these two guards together, Obevery and Gale, give them an element of speed in the backcourt that maybe Penn hasn't had in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you're right. He was extremely excited about these two players, and, they still have so much to learn because they are young, and he's really looking for either of them to kind of facilitate a little bit more and be that extension of him when they're out there on the court.
Obevery, a couple of made free throws here. First points here in the second quarter for Penn. But look at Taylor guiding that ball up the floor. That's the type of pressure that speedy point guards like Tristan Taylor can put on their opponent.
Yeah, she's very aggressive. She's confident with what she's doing in that point guard position.
Fortunders clears the miss from Kendall Currents. Here is Obevery on the run, and she's headed back to the stripe for Penn.
Such a smart decision. I don't think she kind of went up intending that basket, the ball will go in. She knew what was in front of her and, not afraid to use her body and get knocked down to make it to the free throw line.
Fouls on Rain Tucker. First one good. For Penn, this is a bit of a rarity for them. Jordan Obi is off the floor. Obi played all 40 minutes a couple of times already this year. He's played 37 or more minutes in 7 of their 10 games this season.
And that goes back to your point of, using a little bit more of your bench to, give some of your main players that play the most minutes of rest here and there throughout these longer games.
Taylor to the pull-up and gets the shooter's roll.
She's such a great player to add to this Temple roster with, Leah Nelson, another player who was able to play almost 40 minutes a game last season. She's able to get breaks now because of Taylor.
Under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Penn shooting just 29% to get it started today. That is Almquist getting the roll inside.
Again, as you watch her play, you can tell that she has experience with the 3-on-3. That's something that you just have to be a little bit more patient. When you lose your dribble, find ways to still get to the basket.
Tariana Gowrie misses from the elbow. Obevery clears it for Penn. Molina comes up with the takeaway. And then it's going to get called for an offensive foul.
The right idea. I think, again, she has so much potential, but sometimes, some of the mistakes she makes, you can tell that she's still young and a freshman in what she does. So, it's a learning curve for the freshmen put in these positions to play a little bit more.
Yeah, Temple head coach Diane Richardson was so excited to get her in the program because she was really good right from the start of practice, but it was more because she has such great instincts. And once she figures out some more of the skill development in her time here at Temple, I think she's got a chance to be an all-league caliber player. Aaliyah Nelson back on the ball for Temple. Working it with Rain Tucker. Gowrie chased off the line, and Tucker finishes inside for Temple.
I really love that offensive possession by Temple, just, using what the defense is giving them and taking their time, making that extra pass to get the best shot.
Almquist left alone. Taylor pulls down the board for Temple. Unleashing Aaliyah Nelson, who puts it behind her back. Inez Piper a piece of the rebounds. But it'll be Penn ball.
Right idea. We can see this Temple team kind of just come alive. They've, as we talked about, had some time off to rest and kind of regroup, and you can see that, you know, the work that they've put in practice is showing today.
Pretty good run there for Tristan Taylor. 7 minutes off the bench. Oh my, Gary nearly saved that. Opportunity for the Quakers. 3-ball missed by Papazoglu. Obi. No whistle as Tucker went to the deck. Papazoglu took an extra step inside. Boy, frenetic pace. And both teams, I think, glad to get back to their sidelines for a moment. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. And it's Temple by 7. To start the year, Nikki.
Yeah, she's the player that you can tell that she has that decisiveness on offense, and she's out there. She's a threat, and it's fun to watch her play and be so confident in these positions, kind of filling in the shoes for Aaliyah Nelson when she's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Temple head coach Diane Richardson has told us how Aaliyah Nelson has sort of taken Taylor under her wing and is trying to impart so much of that knowledge about how to conduct yourself as a college basketball player onto the next generation for Temple. Of course, Aaliyah Nelson and Diane Richardson very close. These two know each other from the DMV area and, of course, played for Coach Rich at Towson. That is Piper. Rain Tucker after the miss and lays it in.
A great job by Rain Tucker running in, crashing the boards. She almost lost her balance for a split second, but, you know, just having that awareness to put it back up while she's kind of going down.
Gale for 3. Rebounded by Inez Piper. Leah Nelson pushing pace for the Owls. Quick duck in for Rain Tucker. Cleared by Almquist. Gale. Gretsch. Gale for 3. Got it.
I know we mentioned this earlier, but she does a great job finding those openings. Her teammates are looking for her, so she can really just knock down those 3-pointers.
Gale can really score and scored over 2,000 points in her high school career. Tiara East inside, lays it in for Temple.
Tiara East making that big girl move down low, back to the basket, and finding that friendly roll to knock that down.
Gary with the tip. And lays it in. Timeout Penn. Well, a couple turnovers in a row for Penn. As see the activity from Tariana Gary.
Yeah, this is what Temple wants. They want to jump those passing lanes. They want to get those points as fast as possible. This is their game.
See that equal opportunity offense for Diane Richardson, and it's leading to such a great assist to turnover ratio for the Owls right now. And that seems to be a key for them going forward, is to continue to limit turnovers.
Yeah, and, you know, taking care of the ball, obviously that's a huge factor in the game of basketball, but, you know, also assisting and, you know, sharing the ball, finding your teammates, helping them score in different ways.
Do you remember your career high in assists from when you were playing in college, Nikki, at UMass and Drexel?
Honestly.
I know you were a post player, but...
Do you want the honest truth? You know, my teammates kind of said it. My coach, Denise Dillon, said it. We knew that if the ball went into you, you were not passing it. So I probably did not average any assists at all.
Not even an accidental assist.
It's okay. They love me.
Here is Obi. And that is the aggressive scoring mentality that Penn really needs from Jordan Obi.
Oh, you're right. We talked about that with her head coach, that she needs to have that tunnel vision. She can score. She plays to a really high level, but sometimes she's a little bit too unselfish, and now's not the time for that.
East into her bag and draws a whistle against Gale. We were asking Penn's head coach Mike McLaughlin about why Jordan Obi is playing so well in her senior year, and he talked about, well, in the Ivy League, they don't get the same access to players that in the summertime that other programs have around college basketball, but Jordan Obi stayed in West Philadelphia and played a lot of those pickup games at the Palestra.
Right, and at the Palestra were players who have made a name for themselves in Big Five basketball throughout Philadelphia, big players who've played in the league overseas, so she's been able to play against some great talented players in the summer, which has helped her kind of just elevate her game.
And Coach McLaughlin was talking to us about some of the conversations they had over the course of the summer, providing a little bit of advice about how it's different playing with men in pickup games versus just with women. And he name dropped a couple of the players that were in the league. He name dropped one of my favorite Philly guards as Gale picks up a foul here defending Tiara East. Bones Highland, I'm a huge Bones Highland guy. Just needed to shout out my man. I love
that.
He's so much fun.
It's cool. I get it. But, also what I loved about his comment about playing with men is he told her the key was to not be the person who's passing the ball inbounds. If you do that and you pass it to one of these players, you're not getting the ball back. So make sure she avoids that at all costs, and, she'll be all right.
Bevray running the show right now for Penn. Simone Sawyer, she's a dangerous three-point shooter on the wing. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Bevray for three. And Sawyer chases down an offensive rebound, but saves it to Solis. Inez Piper running the floor, and is fouled from behind by Gretsch.
Yeah, one thing Penn has done well is kind of crowd that down low. Anytime someone catches the ball in the low post or in the low paint area, there are a lot of Penn jerseys surrounding them.
And an inbounds play run to perfection as Inez Piper lays in two more for Temple. She's got 4 here in the first half.
I like the way that, Temple's taking their time and assisting their teammates to getting the best basket in each of their possessions.
East with a piece of it. Obi working it with Tunders. And another Penn turnover. Their 13th here in the first half. Nikki, we're talking about how Diane Richardson has said to us that you really have to share the basketball to be successful offensively. 10 assists on 15 made field goals here in the first half.
Yeah, and that's something a little bit different for them. You can tell that they're making that effort to pass and share the ball. And sometimes you get so focused and caught up in what you're supposed to do as an individual, but it is an overall team sport, and sharing the ball certainly makes you a better team.
Penn can hold for the final shot of the first half, trailing by 11. In the hands of Bevray. Summoning Obi for some screen and roll game. A denial by Piper. East from half court. And what it counted.